Welcome learners, I am Dr. Ankita Devnath from Indian Institute of Tourism and Travel Management, Noida. Today we will learn about luxury trains. After this unit, you should be able to know about the history of luxury trains in India, understand how and why the idea of starting the Palace on Wheels emerged, how the project was initiated, the details about Palace on Wheels luxury trains, and the outcome of the project. Traveling forms an integral part of tourism, and a tourist cannot think of traveling India without having an experience of journey by rail. Indian railways connect major parts of the country with each other and provide the cheapest mode of travel. Being aware of this importance of railways, the railway authorities have come forward in the past with various innovative packages to promote tourism. The scheme of Palace on Wheels is one such tourism promotional project of Indian Railways. This is a joint venture of Indian Railways with Rajasthan Tourism Development Corporation. This unit introduces you to the history of luxury trains in India and the details of this project, its planning and implementation, along with the outcome of the project Palace on Wheels. Let us know a little about the history of luxury trains in India. Railways as a mode of transport was introduced in India by British in 1853 with first passenger train journey from Mumbai to Thane. It soon became a preferred mode of transportation for movement of military troops, maintenance of law and order, and for trade and commerce. It was a much faster means of travel and decreased journey time with a lot. The royal princes of India, princely states, were quick to seize this idea and they established their own railway networks in their respective states for the movement of royalty and the local. By the 1880s, many Maharajas and Nizams had begun commissioning luxurious railway saloons to British companies which were used by these royals and their families for their own travel. The big rail companies of colonial period Indian railways such as Bombay, Baroda and Central Indian Railway and the Great India Peninsular Railway, as well as the princely state railways such as Jodhpur Railway, Bikaner State Railway, Jaipur State Railway, Patiala State Monotrail Tramway and the Gaikwad Baroda State Railways, to name a few, all owned large groups of luxury saloons. The princely railways were wooden carriages with spacious compartments. While the common man travelled by ordinary coaches, the kings had luxury carriages. The Maharaja of Mysore travelled in a saloon made of teak wood and adorned with intricate bronze railings all around. These luxury coaches or saloons had wall-to-wall carpeting, a large bed with an 8-inch mattress, velvet upholstered chairs and a foldable table. In 1930s, the pre-independence Indian State Railways also encouraged tourists to visit India by luxury train saloons attached to regular train. There were several posters and magazine advertisements by these train companies in the foreign nations. These luxury saloons were fitted with all amenities, food and catering offered in the refreshment rooms of all main station, gas lighting, etc. After independence, as the princely state lost their power and when the railways was nationalized and royalty abolished, the royals and the tourist saloons with their valuable interior furnishings and high upkeep cost could no longer be maintained or run, and they initially were discarded but later became the inspiration for the luxury trains. Towards the end of year 1980, BBC carried on their network a series called Great Railway Journeys of the World. The media coverage of the series later indicated that from the series, the feature on the Indian Railways was very well received. The essence of media report was that there were few railways around the world that could match the sheer romance, size, variety of routes, attractions and the variety of gauges etc. of Indian railways. Consequently, many foreign tourists visiting India feel that they must experience the joy of traveling by train in India, however brief it may be. Many of them are fascinated by the sight of now extinct small steam engines chugging up the hill in the mountainous areas and regret that they were unaware about the great Indian marvel before they left the country. This was taken note of by the Ministry of Railways in India, and it contemplated introducing specific tourism projects for attracting foreign tourists, particularly from the United Kingdom. The idea was that, depending upon the requirements of the UK tourist market and certain other countries, specific schemes covering such sectors of the Indian Railway which held great attraction for the market could be devised and marketed abroad. This would serve the purpose of earning precious foreign exchange for the country, thereby increasing the market share of India in the international tourism market. A note outlining the pilot project was sent by the Ministry of Railways to the Ministry of Commerce in January 1981 for consideration during the ensuing Indo-British Economic Cooperation talks, scheduled to be held in New Delhi between the Union Minister for Commerce, Government of India, and the Minister for Trade, Government of United Kingdom. While nothing concrete emerged during the talk on the project, it was agreed that the idea should be pursued further. Soon after the talk, the proposal, after due consideration by the Union Ministry of Commerce and the Department of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance, was forwarded to the Board of Trade of the United Kingdom government for their comments on its business potential. The comments received from the Board of Trade were very positive. As a follow-up on this, in May 1981, the then Union Minister of Railways and the Chairman Railway Board visited UK and held discussions with the officials of the Indian High Commission in UK, Air India, Indian Tourist Office, Director of Export Market Development Division of Commonwealth Secretariat, and leading travel agents in UK. There was a general consensus in the meeting that a package tour on the lines of Indian Railways was considering would evoke a good response from the UK origin tourists. Having had a favourable response from the cross-section of market feelers, the Ministry of Railways, in consultation with the Department of Tourism, Government of India, started giving concrete shape to the project. The project concept was defined as a hotel on wheel which is mobile in the night and is made stationary at a tourism center in the daytime so that the tourist can move around the tourism center. Thus, the activities of travelling and staying could be merged together. It was therefore that a series of packages could be introduced linking the important tourism centers of India. The foremost to emerge in the series of these packages and the one that could be operationalized in the short run was later named as Palace on Wheels. It was noted that Rajasthan offered vast tourism potential as the state was dotted with forts, rich heritage and myriad scenic spots. It was therefore realized that the package along the lines of defined concept could be launched in Rajasthan. Since Rajasthan primarily had a network of meter gauge track, the special tourist train in Rajasthan had to be a meter gauge train. Accordingly, the coaches for the special train had to be identified. One idea that emerged was that the old coaches belonging to the erstwhile Maharajas and the Viceroys could be renovated and refurbished to serve as the carriages in the tourist train. To complete the old world charm, the train could be hauled by a steam engine and the tourists driven down the nostalgia lane. It also made business sense that the required number of the existing carriages did not need to be pulled out of the fleet and remodeled and refurbished to serve as a tourist train coaches. That would have incurred large expenditure as sunk cost with the risk of project failing to click. This package was christened Palace on Wheels in June 1981. Now let us see how this project was set up. The old royal carriages belonging to the Maharajas and the princely state of Rajputanas and Gujarat were reinforced and refurbished with the expert assistance of interior designers. This work was carried out at the railway coach works at Ajmer. It was ensured that the interiors, most of which were 50 years or more of age, were changed as little as possible so as to retain the original ambience of the heritage. Of course, modern gadgets like electrical geysers in toilets, beds with modern foam cushions were installed for the comfort of the tourist. It was decided by the Ministry of Railways and the Department of Tourism, Government of India, that since tourism was a state subject, it would need to involve the Rajasthan government in the project. Accordingly, Rajasthan Tourism Development Corporation was also involved in the project. Under the agreement signed between the RTDC and the Indian Railways, it was decided that Rajasthan Tourism Development Corporation would look after the reservation, promotion, housekeeping, catering, sightseeing, culture programs and boat, camel and elephant rides at various destinations, and all other ground arrangements of running the train would be the responsibility of Indian Railways. It was decided that usually 3 itineraries, 7 days 8 nights, 4 days 4 nights and 2 days 3 nights would be offered. The project was announced in the Parliament by the Union Minister for Railway on February 25, 1982 in his Railway Budget presentation speech. The trial runs of the train had begun on 26 January 1982 and they continued up to March 1982. In all 5 trial runs that were made during this period, at the culmination of the trial runs, the itineraries were reviewed and it was decided to fix the itinerary at 7 days 8 nights. The project was set up to fulfill the following objectives: to promote tourism, to conserve and maintain the priceless heritage of very distinctive nature, that is the royal and vice-regal coaches dating back to the turn of the last century, to attract attention to tourism in India with a unique tourism product which could become the talk of international tourism circle, and to earn precious foreign exchange for the country. Keeping those objectives in mind, the Palace on Wheels was launched. Now let us see what is Palace on Wheels or what it has to offer. Exploring India's best, adorable and historical destinations with the unique and royal Palace on Wheels is like a great combination of equating history through a historical voyage. The train's lavish and grandeur interior decors call back the times of Indian royalty affluence, with all furnishing classy elements and facilities. On 26 January 1982, the rule of Palace on Wheels started under the guidance of Rajasthan Tourism Development Corporation and Indian Railways. As like the name attested to the train, it serves its guests like a king or a queen of the palace. A journey on the Palace on Wheels is just like a mirror image of royal lifestyle as a real king or queen, and takes tourists through the mighty forts, palaces, historical structures and monuments of Rajasthan. From its starting career to the day, Palace on Wheels credited with many awards and applauses. It was awarded Pata Gold Award in 1987 and later in 2009 it was recognized as the best train in Asia. At last, the immense popularity of the Palace on Wheels made it voted as the 4th best luxury train in the world by the survey conducted by Condé Nast magazine. Recently, in the year 2018, it was awarded Patwa Award under the Tourist Trains category. An interesting thing about Palace on Wheels is its coach's name. To introduce Rajasthan history to the tourists, the coaches got named after princely states of Rajputana. Even the interiors of the coaches were designed in a way which described the history and tourist attractions of the place affiliated to the coach. There are total 14 guest coaches on the Palace on Wheels that meet the standards of the princedom in terms of their interiors and aesthetics, matching the royalty that they are named after. Every cabin is equipped with world-class facilities, air conditioning, TV, beds, wardrobes and a private bathroom with high-end facilities. For recreational space, there is a bar, gym, lounge, spa and 2 restaurants on the train that serves the best of cuisines. Each coach of Palace on Wheels holds 1 butler who is at service 24/7. Beautiful paintings, mirror and ceiling works, some fine architectural works like Zardozi, teak ply and fard work add intense glory to the palace on wheels from inside. Apart from the staff, 82 passengers can be accommodated during a trip on the train. With time, since 1980s, changes have been made in original coaches to ensure ultimate luxury and comfort of the passenger. Similarly, in September 2017, new train carriages have been introduced on the Palace on Wheels luxury train. They are more spacious in size and now guests have the option to book deluxe or super deluxe cabins. These coaches have been taken from Royal Rajasthan on Wheels train, which is now not functional. Let's see the itinerary Palace on Wheels offer. It offers 7 nights, 8 days of royal journey covering amazing tourist destinations of North India. Jaipur, Savai Madhopur, Chittorgarh, Udaipur, Jaisalmer, Jodhpur, Bharatpur, Agra and return back to Delhi, the capital of India. It covers a total distance of approximately 2,411 kilometers. The Palace on Wheels operates between the months of September to April every year. There is no train service from May to August. The minimum tariff per person in high season from October to March is around 3,40,000 per person on double occupancy for Indian nationals and $5,005 per person or double occupancy for foreigners. The tariff includes overnight travel and stay in luxury train with AC sleeping chambers having private attached bathroom, prepaid group excursion and sightseeing trips in AC buses with services of English speaking guide and monument entrance fees, bed tea, daily 3 meals, breakfast, lunch and dinner and bottled drinking water, entrance and camera fee at monuments and wildlife reserves jungle excursion in Ranthambore Tiger Reserve by 15-seater open-to-air canters, elephant joyride in Jaipur, sound and light show at Chittor Fort, boat joyride in Udaipur, camel joyride at sand dunes, cultural program with dinner in Jaisalmer, cycle rickshaw ride in Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary, complimentary use of sharing dongle for Wi-Fi, connectivity and visit to Taj Mahal in Agra. So it is an all-inclusive fare of Palace on Wheels. The train leaves every Wednesday from Safdarjung railway station in New Delhi on its scheduled departure date. Guests are expected to be present at the train for check-in which commences at 4 p.m. before the train proceeds to the next destination. The train moves by night and arrives each morning at a new destination, where the tourist can deboard and visit the destination. The week-long tour also includes special cultural shows arranged at some of the cities. Now let us take a look at the performance of the first ever luxury train of India. From its inception in 1982 to the present times, Palace on Wheels has garnered a steady flux of tourists on board. It has become a symbol of status and a means to experience the royal past of Rajasthan. If we look at the occupancy data of Palace on Wheels since 1982, the growth in number of passengers on board every year has been impressive over the years, with few exceptional years. The luxury train has been a profitable venture of Indian Railways and RTDC. If we look at the data from 2014 to 2019, the number of passengers have been gradually decreasing, but if we look at the income and expenditure, Palace on Wheels has never been in loss. In the recent years, the data exhibits a steady occupancy rate of the train. Though the number of passengers have gradually decreased, the luxury train is still running on profit. It is still a good tourism product and will sustain if the break-even point for the number of passengers is reached every year. The decreasing number of tourists is concern area for the Palace on Wheels and can be due to other luxury trains of India that are giving tough competition to Palace on Wheels or a need to revamp the marketing and promotion of Palace on Wheels to the inbound market. With this, we come to the end of this unit and let us sum up our learning. As mentioned in the introduction, there is an important linkage between the development of tourism and railways. The project of Palace on Wheel is the best example of the relationship. This unit has shown you how did the idea of Palace on Wheel come. Spectacular variation of Indian Railways and its appeal among the people was skillfully used to attract the tourist. People's nostalgia, the urge for visiting the historical places and the modern comforts were blended through this package tour by rail. This is an example for a tourism professional to learn how can one systematically use the available resources for the promotion of tourism. Luxury trains have become an attraction in themselves. Service of the Palace on Wheel has inspired the Railway Authority to plan for more such luxury tourings linking other important destinations of India. On the successful model of partnership with RTDC, Indian Railways has also ventured into public-private partnership for more number of luxury trains to attract more tourists to India.